Good afternoon, late afternoon. It's coming to you from the front living room. Beautiful day outside. It's a little chilly, a little windy. Too much wind noise. I'd be out there right now. But gonna dive into this. Let's see. This is what November, end of September. Somebody had messaged me and he had asked me basically, you talk about your truth, your passion, and your purpose. What are they? And I answered his question with a question. You want me to explain what truth, purpose, and passion, what they are individually? You want me to give you my personal experience with the three? And he wants to know my personal experience with the three because he's interested in, as to how I operate, why I operate. So I'll do that as best I can, as short as I can. This is going to be over on YouTube because it's not going to be short, okay? So I haven't been on YouTube in a very long time, months. So this will be posted on YouTube. Anyway. Let me jump into my truth. My truth is I am a spiritual being having a human experience. I am love. We're all love. I am love. I'm an embodiment of love. That's what I've been tasked with. That's what my truth is, okay? My purpose is to take that embodiment, my embodiment of love, and to exhibit that into the world, all right? Into this program, into this world, into this realm, into this dimension, etc., etc., etc. That's my purpose. My passion is more of a more personal experience, if you will. It's more of a personal purpose. That is to individually, as an individual, to an individual, exhibit my purpose. All right. So now to give you a little background, because again he was asking about what you guys see, and he didn't ask me a statement, but. What you guys see is not who I've always been. All right, I've always been a nice person, been a kind person, but it came from a place of fear. Right? Follow me? I grew up in a space of blackout fear, straight up. All right, I mean so fearful, anxiety, paralyzing fear. All right. Fast forward, started dating my girlfriend then was as a sophomore in high school. We started dating Julie, my kid's mom, my ex-wife. We got married when we were 19, so very young, and operating from a space of fear. And again, I can speak to toxic masculinity because I was that, right? Because all the fear, all the pain, all the hurt, all the wounds that I had. I was taught to, I was not given a platform to express myself emotionally, all right? And so I took those things and I pushed them down, covered them over with, dirt and concrete, hid them as best I could, and didn't have to deal with them for years. And I'll speak to this to you young guys, to you young men, all right? And to my boys as well, because I'm responsible for a lot of pain and hurt and wounds that my boys have, okay? If you do not face those wounds, if you do not face that hurt and those pains, they will manifest themselves eventually, all right? You're going to be responsible in a relationship, whether it's your girlfriend, your wife, your significant other, your partner, right? You're going to be responsible for her. If you have children, whatever children you have, you're going to be responsible for them. Outside of that relationship, acquaintances, friends, whatever the relationship is, as well as your jobs and your careers, all right? And those things, those pains, those wounds, if you will, they will manifest themselves. And a lot of times when you least expect them, a lot of times you don't know that you are operating or behaving due to those pains and those wounds. So to you young guys, you young men that are going to become men, that are becoming men, that are going to be in relationships, take care of them. Take care of those now. I would urge you to take care of them before you get into a serious relationship because they will manifest themselves. Okay? But anyway, I got married at 19. Was not ready to be married at 19. Now, you guys that know Julie, you guys know that know my kid's mom. I don't speak badly about her. And again, coming from a space of not being mature to where I am now, is that I love Julie. We were together for 25 years, and me being toxic, I take full responsibility for that. Right? I take full responsibility for that and the pain and the hurt that I caused my family in that moment, okay? To where I am now is that, Julie and I, we had 7 kids. You guys seen them all, from the age of 23, 24 to the age of 8, 9 years old. But anyway, and I love my kids, I adore my kids, but I caused a lot of pain, a lot of hurt, a lot of wounds for my children, and Julie as well. But me not being mature enough, not being mature at all, I knew at 30 that I wasn't ready to be married at 30. That's how immature, that's how wounded I was, how hurt I was. And it wasn't up until, my late 30s, my 40s really, is when I really dove into that. But anyway, Julie and I, we separated, we got divorced, and it was a very, very, very tumultuous time for both of us, and and for my kids as well. Coming outside of that, I had a relationship, long-term relationship in nearly 5 years. And I'm only telling you guys this so that you understand the space that I come from, that I'm not unlike many of you, okay? I wasn't born with no problems and no issues, all right? And this is just who I am, no, okay? And I said my young life, the young Morgan life, that's something for another day, right? So I was in a long-term relationship outside of that, and it was highly toxic, covert narcissist. It was very physically, emotionally, and mentally abusive. And I had posted a note, was it yesterday? I think it was, yesterday, the day before. A note that I had been working on for years outside of that. And I had added to it, edited it as time went along, and I thought it was time to post it yesterday. I transferred to my phone, and so it was much easier to do that, but it started out on paper. But anyway, it started off with, when I'm done with you, in quotes, when I'm done with you, no one will want you. You're better off, your kids will be better off, everyone will be better off when you're gone. Basically, when you kill yourself. And those exact words were said to me, kill yourself, all right? And then as you read down further, a couple lines down, it was, I said I toyed with my mortality. And I think, those of you that can read between the lines, those that you can read beyond those words, understand what I'm saying when I said I toyed with my mortality. So you can understand the dark space that I was in. You can understand the darkness that I was in that moment. And like I said, it was very, very difficult. And thank God that certain people, I was where I was in life, and acquainted and had relationships with certain people. Because one of those people, he was my sergeant at the time, but in that moment, he saved my life, okay? Now, not the least of them were my kids, okay? My kids at the forefront, okay? But this man, basically plucked me and saved my life. So, and then from that, there were other people that were introduced into my life that are still close, good friends of mine that filled spaces that I needed as I went along my journey. Now, I didn't know at that time I was beginning my journey. And if anybody tells you that healing is easy, if anyone tells you that, they're lying or they've not gone through it, because it's not easy, because you have to turn and face your crap. And I know everyone's journey is different, everyone's healing is different from different things, but for a lot of us, that crap is stuff that we ran from for years and years and years, all right? So I began my journey, my healing journey, and I was single. Obviously, I was single, isolated, because I basically had, I was still dealing with fear, all right? But at the same time, it was divinely appointed. God had said, you're going to be isolated. Now, I don't believe this is true for everyone. Now, there'll be times, because you may be partnered with somebody. I will say this, is I do wish, and I know this, but I do wish that I had a partner to help me through that, to hold my hand through that. I do. I really do. Because the time of isolation, my time of healing, my isolation extended that. I wholeheartedly believe that. If I had had a partner to help me, to at least hold my hand, because they're not, I say help, they're not going to be able to heal, they're not healing me. They're not going to save me. But I had nobody. All right? The friends I had, the acquaintances I had, they were there as support, okay? But they did not know. They did not know. And to the depths of which I had to go. And to be able to have been able to have somebody that understood that, to hold my hand, to help maybe guide me along when I would get stuck. because you have to understand, I was by myself. I had nobody. I had to pull myself up when I was stuck in the muck and the mire. I had nobody else to do that. But it made me who I am today, right? Okay. So as I began and I started my healing journey, people were introduced into my life, and to get on started on it and to get through that. Fast forward a few years, and I met somebody, and our connection was, understand now, again, it was divinely appointed. I'm 100% convinced. I know that, okay? Because I wasn't at a point of a standstill. I wasn't at a point of being stagnant. I had reached a point to where I was ready for the next level, if you will, from the ascension, if you will, all right? And it was so out of this world the way it happened, okay? But anyway, our connection was immediate and powerful, super powerful. And she basically became my spiritual teacher, if you will, because she was very knowledgeable, very experienced in the spirituality of things, okay? And I had just started, I would say looking into it, we just started to experience that. And because there were questions that I had. So anyway, we started on that path, our journey with spirituality and whatnot, and the connection that we had was very powerful. Like I said, very powerful. And she taught me things, and then I learned things as I opened up and became more vulnerable. Some very, very, very tough lessons. Very tough lessons. Oof, tough lessons. But within that time, within that space, within those lessons, I learned what my truth was. I learned what my purpose was, and I learned what my passion was. All right. Now, passion came along a little later. It came along a little bit later. So at that point, it's just basically my truth and my purpose, right? And with that, again, facilitating healing, because like I said, it wasn't that I was stagnant, but I had reached a waypoint that I've said before in my journey. I reached a waypoint, and again, she was divinely appointed to be in my life at that moment. So at that right moment. So anyway, as I told her, I said, early on, and it was like the pieces of me that were wounded, the pieces of me that were hurting or had been hurting, that I had at least acknowledged and began my healing process with. They were like puzzle pieces that were kind of floating out here. This is before I met her, okay? They were kind of floating out here. I understood them. I knew what they were. And those of you that know me, again, I know I'm all over the place. I'm trying to condense all this in. But I visualize. I'm a visualizer, right? And so I visualize my life as like a big puzzle. Bits and pieces here, they all fit together. But anyway, these moments of hurt and pain and things that I've at least acknowledged and had began to heal, they were puzzle pieces. They were just kind of floating out here. They weren't bad, but they needed to be placed in the right spots of the puzzle in order for me to move forward. But there were still moments in them that I had not fully quite understood yet. I hadn't quite gotten to a point of healing that I could place them in my life, back in my life. All right, where they weren't going to inhibit me or prohibit me from moving forward, right? Like I said, I met her, and it was a miracle. So one by one, really, first, one by one, things started falling in place. I'm like, okay, as she's teaching me. And when I say teaching, I don't mean like a teacher. I mean, she's teaching me through lessons. And when I say lessons, I mean stupid, tough lessons, right? Okay? Do not let me fool you. It was not easy. So as I'm learning these lessons and these parts are falling in, these pieces are falling into place and completing this puzzle, if you will. It'll never be complete. Understand that. It's always a journey. But it enables me to fill in these holes, these gaps, these places that have hurt. It's like, they're scars, basically. Look at them like that. But it enables me to move forward, right? So I can say, I've done this. I've been healing this. I can move forward to the next phase. I can move forward to the next piece. Anyway, then I reached a point where it was like, woof. They just went woof. And then, like I said, my spiritual ascension was like off. I was off and running. And she'll tell you this. And I told her, I said, a million things. All this stuff that you're telling me, all this stuff you're teaching me, all this stuff that you're giving me, the lessons that I'm learning through this, I said, they're coming at me all at once. Like you see in Star Wars, like when they hit light speed and the stars just go flying by, right? That's what it was like for me. And I didn't miss one. Now, I had to spend some time on certain things here and there. I had to spend some certain time, more time on little things here and there. But I took it all, and I absorbed it all because I was so flippin' hungry, right? She activated me. That's what we say. She activated me. So anyway, I'm taking all this in. I mean, I am just growing exponentially. For me, anyway, at a astronomical rate, right? It's tough. It was very, very tough. It's very exhausting. It still is because I'm still learning because I'm open to it. I'm vulnerable to it, and it exhausts me, right? So as I'm coming into my truth and my purpose, and not quite yet into my passion yet, but I'm taking all this stuff on, and I'm becoming healed more. I'm doing more healing with it. Now, I kind of go down a rabbit hole here a little bit because I do want to touch on this because this was asked before too. Is that people want to know? They said you talk about spiritual stuff here or there, you drop hints of it, but you don't really get into it. Why don't you? Why don't you just do a video on your spirituality and your journey, spirituality journey? That becomes at some point that'll happen. It's not. I'm not led to do that. First and foremost, that's not my platform. My purpose and my truth is what they are, and my passion. They are what they are. That's my platform, right? Somebody like her, that is her platform. That is what she speaks from, right? And I do it this way. Again, visualization. You pull into a parking lot, Walmart, right? And you've got two different doors, two different main doors. You got your grocery side and your home goods. You got your grocery side, you walk in and there's a fruit and everything, your rotisserie chickens, everything's right there. You got your other side, your home goods side, which is your pharmacy and your chairs, your mattresses, your TVs, stuff like that. Two separate entrances, right? But they both lead to the same place. They get you into the same place. That's how I see it. My platform is this. Someone else's platform is this. And I'm using her as an example because that's who she is. Okay? Neither one wrong. Again, one and the same. Two different messages, same mission. Right? So anyway, now I will touch on this because he asked this as well, is that, again, and I've said this before, that everyone says, oh, you're so happy and nothing but, you must not have bad days, or do you ever have bad days? I have very bad days. I have very bad days. And I'm not complaining. And I mean bad, but I should say that I have very tough days, okay? Because everything that happened, nothing has happened to me. Everything has happened for me, okay? I look back on my childhood. I look back at the abuse. I look back at my teen years. I look back at being married. I look back at being divorced. I looked at the relationship after my divorce. Those things didn't happen to me. Now, a lot of that stuff happened because of choices that I made, absolutely. Okay, but it all happened for me because it got me to who I am today, where I am today, right? So, living from this truth, living in this purpose and in this passion is very difficult. People say, oh, you're speaking love and that's so great and this. Listen, the depths to which I love, the depths of which I know love makes it very difficult, okay? And again, I'm speaking towards, tough moments, tough times, tough days. So to be able to operate in the world, and again, I've been put in situations, I've been put in this space of isolation almost to help protect me, because I know that my ascension in this new timeline is going to be amazing. So anyway, is that I absorb energy. I absorb people's energy. And to illustrate it, to visualize it again, there's a Superman, there's a scene at one point where he hears everybody's thoughts, or he hears everybody's cries for help. Okay, now I don't hear thoughts. I don't hear people's inner voices, but I feel their energy. So I step out into the world. I step into a restaurant. I step into Walmart. I step into anywhere, the gym, and I feel the energy from everybody. all right? And it's exhausting. It is flipping exhausting. Now, I'm trying to make this as quick as I can and not miss anything. Now, living in this purpose, living in this truth, you're gonna offend people. I'm gonna offend people. I had somebody very, very close to me who sees me on a daily basis, and he said, "You're gonna offend people, or you do offend people." I said, "I know. I do know that." And it's not about offending people. It puts people in difficult situations, okay? Because again, and I'll come at this from my passion standpoint, all right? Because it's a little easier to understand from this standpoint. Is that I don't understand. I said I don't speak on it because it's more of a personal level, more of a personal journey. But at the same time, I don't understand it enough to be able to speak to it. And I'll say this: is that it puts me, and it puts the other person in very difficult situation. Because again, as a spiritual being, and I told this person this. I said, what's normal? What's normal in this program? What's normal in this realm, this 3D realm? What's normal can't be normal anymore. Because I'm operating this space of my passion makes no sense. It makes no sense. Not to me, not to this. It makes no sense. Here it makes sense. My soul makes sense. My spirit, it makes sense. Total sense. Here it does not. So I said I had to stop asking why. I had to stop asking why. Just be. Just be in that moment. Be in that passion. But he said, you're going to offend people. You're going to upset people. Because what it is that people can only comprehend and understand to their level of understanding. And I completely understand that. Because to a certain level of my passion, like I said, I understand it more than anyone else. But there's still a level to which I can't comprehend it. Okay? And so the person, my counterpart doesn't understand it at all because they don't understand to the level to which I understand it. So you have these difficult moments, difficult conversations that have to happen. And for me, it's very difficult to tell somebody I don't know. I don't have the answer. Again, I'm a man, I'm a masculine male, and I like to have the answer. I like to fix things. And to not have an answer is a vulnerability that is very uncomfortable for me. But no, again, having surrendered, having to be, to live in that truth is a peace to it. And I told this person, I said, there's a peace to this level, this depth of love, this unconditional love. And I know what it is. Believe me, I know what it is. There's a peace that comes with it. And again, that's part of my purpose. That's part of my purpose is I want people to understand the peace that comes with the love that I have. Okay, and it starts with me. So, as I'm talking to this person, and we're going back and forth, and they're trying to understand it, and I'm trying to understand it as well. It's a difficult conversation to have. It's a difficult discussion to have because I don't have the answers, and I don't have the answers to comfort this person. I don't have the answers to make it make sense so that they can sit with it and be comfortable with it. And I get it. I completely understand it. And that's where, the essence of unconditional love for me comes in, is that regardless of what someone understands who I am, why I am, I'll still love them unconditionally. It doesn't matter. It makes no difference. And I said the toughness of this, that imagine being told, all right, now again, I'm going to go down the rabbit trail, and I know I'm going to get asked about this, but knowing that I'm told to love, okay, in a world that is so deprived of it. So imagine be careful. I'm tasked with loving, extending love, kindness, compassion, unconditional love, okay? And to go every day doing that. And I'm not able to, other than exude energy, to be in the space that I'm in the moment that I'm in. It's very important to be present. Very important to be present. That's another tough lesson I had to learn. But again, everything led up to this right now. But to be present in that unconditional love space, I break down. I said I'd stop asking why. I did for the most part. I mean, say 99% of I don't ask why anymore. But there are moments that I ask why. So anybody that says, that is tasked with the same mission, that's tasked with the same purpose that I am, and tells you that it's easy is lying to you. They're lying to you. Because the world is not conditioned right now, is not conditioned to accept what I have. And I'm at peace with who I am. You guys know that, I think. So anyway, I know I'm going to get questions because I said I'm kind of jumping all around, but this guy, he wasn't forceful. He was very, very interested in what it is, that I have and what it is I am. I'm drawn to my energy, if you will. So it's a little bit of it. Like I said, it's not easy to explain a lot of it. You guys get to see the good stuff. You guys get to see the good stuff, but along with that good stuff, there's a lot of tension. There's a lot of difficulty, because to be vulnerable in this space of unconditional love there's a lot of hurt. There's a lot of hurt that I take on, a lot of energy that I take on from people that don't understand where I'm coming from, and I'm supposed to fill that. Fill that. So, as I said yesterday, you are enough. Just be. Understand that coming from a space, and I encourage you guys all to come from a space of that compassion, from compassion and love. And it's not easy. I get it. It's not easy. It's so easy to be cynical. I was that person. I said that the other day. I was that person. I love to see happy couples. I love to see couples in love. That's what we need more of. That's what I want from my partner. I want my partner, I want my partner to challenge me. I want my partner to help me grow. I want my partner to accept my challenges so that I can help her grow. Because our mission is so huge. It is so big. And I know she's being prepared. I know it. And it's just a tough road. It's a tough road right now because I know I'm being built. Like I said before, in my workout videos, I got people that are going to rely on me. And, this physical body, it is what it is. I mean, until I'm no longer in this physical body, it's going to have to, it carries a lot. It carries a lot. And it will carry, it'll be counted on to carry a lot. To carry her, not to carry, but to hold her hand and to help support her. So I know I'm being prepared as well. I'm being prepared as well because of the path. I think it'll be so much easier when we come together, when the union is. And I'm not here to predict the future. Okay? I'm not here to predict the future. But there are things that I do know. There are things that I do know that I am not able to speak on. Okay? I'm not able to speak on. But I know that the path, it's so bright. It's so bright. It's so amazingly amazing. But anyway, that's a whole other thing. That's a whole other thing. But I want you guys to understand when I say, you guys, extend compassion to yourselves, because it starts with you. It starts with you as me. It starts within ourselves, right? I said 100 times, I can only love to the level which I love myself. And yes, I love myself. Now, you are capable of love and accepting love without loving yourself fully. Absolutely. Okay? But I cannot give past the level of which I have for myself. And again, somebody asked me, who fills your cup? I fill my cup. I'm responsible for that. Right? I'm not in union with anyone. I have no partnership. And when that happens, and that's an adjustment, that's an adaptability that will happen. But until then, I fill my cup, and that's why I disappear at times because it's exhausting. It's exhausting to exude this nonstop. So, but I love you. I love all of you. I hope that answers some of your questions, because again, some of the stuff I touched on, I've been asked about many, many times. It just wasn't the right time. And if you have questions, ask them. You know, I'll try to answer them the best I can. But I love you. I love all of you. I intend to have a beautiful rest of this evening, and I hope you do too.